Okay, the last decision that I need to make is finance decisions. So I go to decisions and I go down to, okay, there's a human resources module, and I'd like you just to, when you go in the human resources module, um, there's information icons here for you to read about what all this should be. When the simulation lets you make those decisions, I'd like you to figure out all this, okay? Um, so at least you've got something without me showing you everything. And then we go, but now for the finance section, you can really only understand how you're going to make finance decisions after you've gotten the previous R&D, marketing, and production decisions made for every single one of your products. Because you've got to look at the whole big picture. Finance is something that requires you to understand what the whole company has done. You can't make these financial decisions on the basis of just having one product able, positioned, and marketing upped, and production decided, and all that. You have to have them all your products decisions made before you come and make this more company focused decision. Ideally, what you want to do is you want your cash position to be about 10% of what your gross sales are going to be. So and then if it turns out that you don't have 10% of your sales, and of course you can get your sales from marketing. Total sales just based on this is 24.8 million. So my pro formas, assuming that they materialize, tell me that hold on a minute, gross revenue 110, sorry, 10% of that, so I should have about 11 million in cash left over. It's just a general diagram, the guideline. You can go less than that. So gross revenue is 110, and I'm going to be sitting at around that. Maybe it could go up to 11 million. I need to figure out how to, increase my cash position so it's about 10% of sales, and I can do that either by issuing stock or I can borrow money as well. What do I do? Well, again, we go back into the finance section of the strategy, and it says we will finance our investments through long-term bond issues, supplementing with stock offerings on an as-needed basis. When our cash position allows, we will establish a dividend policy and begin to retire stock. We are not adverse to leverage and expect to keep our assets to equity between 2 and 3. Okay, so so you want to that gives you another guideline as to just what your assets to equity ratio is going to be. It's going to be between 2 and 3. You could go into, in order to make that decision, you could go into the pro formas, go to the balance sheet, and see assets to equity is 30.9, equity is 54,769. So it means that I actually have room to borrow here to keep this between 2 and 3. I'm below 1 at this point. 30 divided by 54 is a number below 1. So I do have room to borrow. So because of this strategy, I would be inclined to go back into the finance section, and if a little bit I need to get this up to like a little million, I would issue debt of, oh, hold on a minute, there was a value in there which had me at there, 6711 is what my closing cash position is. If I borrow 1,500, I'm going to have to borrow more than that. I'm going to have to borrow maybe 4 million. Recalculate, because it's my strategy says that I prefer to issue debt rather than issue stock. So I'm going to issue 4 million in long-term bonds in order to get my cash up to at least 10%. It's still not quite there, so I'm going to see if I can increase this to 6 million. There, that's close to 11 million, which is about 10% of my sales. So so that's how you make your finance decisions. Consult the strategy, look at your sales, your cash position, to make sure that you've got a nice cash cushion of about 10% of your sales, maybe 5% if you want to be conservative, and then follow the strategy to determine how to best raise the money. once you get into the simulation and you've got a lot more than 10% of your sales in cash, you can start paying off debt, and you can start paying dividends and buying back stock as well. So that's how I would make my finance decisions.